This week on Soul Impact, How Music Saved Us. Meet Cristina Santiago, DJ Roman, a fearless voice at the crossroads of music, pop culture, and crypto. From turntable to tokens, she's remixing the future, proving that every beat has value and every story has power. This is Soul Impact. Let's welcome Cristina Santiago.
Once I was a drifter, all alone away from home, searching for an answer in my soul.
This program is part of the Scene Project's podcast network. The Scene Project features interviews with independent musicians, comedians, and artists from across the Midwest. Become part of our community and support local art wherever you are.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Soul Impact, How Music Saved Us. I'm your host, Wild Willie. Today, I got with us Cristina Santiago. She informed me I said her name wrong, so I want to make sure I say it right this time. I want to thank you for being on the show today. A little bit about
Absolutely.
the show is I had a very rough childhood, and music has always been what grounded me. And I've learned at an early age that music can teach you how to feel and how to deal with emotions properly than bottling it all up like society tells us. So that's kind of one reason why I've got into the podcast. The other reason is I also run a DJ sound business called Backwoods Production. And through that, I have seen a lot of artists that are really talented, but they get discouraged along the way and they give up. So I want this not only for the people struggling with mental health, but I want it for the artists that are struggling to keep going forward. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and kind of what you got going on?
Okay, well, I'm Cristina Santiago. I do a lot of things from the cryptocurrency world to being a DJ to being a grad student. Right now, I am a member in Ball, which is curated by NBA legend Scottie Pippen. You can catch us on X at Ball is Life, or just follow Scottie Pippen and you'll see it there. As far as like music and like my podcast and things go now, I've been so busy with crypto that I haven't had time to, do my interviews and, really focus on being a DJ. Crypto has definitely taken over, but I have no complaints. It's very exciting. I've gotten to do a lot of great things with crypto so far. Just had a great meeting recently with the Ball team, and they just got on Coinbase. And if you don't know what that is, it's a platform that a lot of crypto heads use to trade different tokens and things of that nature. So I'm a crypto fanatic right now, heavy on that.
That is something I have no knowledge about. I will be 100% honest with you. I stay pretty busy doing everything else. I don't think I have time to add anything else to my plate, to be honest. So,
whenever you want to get into that field, let me know. I'll talk your ear off about Ball. I'm with other tokens too, but Ball is just like my primary one right now.
Right on. I will definitely keep that in mind because we talked a little before, and we're going to kind of bounce ideas back off of each other. So, one of my first questions is for you, and you hit on it a little bit when post-show or pre-show, sorry. When you hear the phrase, how music saved us, what exactly does that mean to you?
I resonate. I want to bring with what you said, actually, because I'll tie it in together. How you brought up your childhood and how music has saved you. How music saved us resonates with me with that, because my childhood wasn't peaches and creams, but music has always been like a crush to lean on. When I went through things, music was always there. And it's another thing that Bob Marley said. He said, one thing about music, when it hits, you feel no pain. So I think that music definitely has a soul impact, and it has the power and ability to save you from, that negative, feelings that you go through sometimes. All you need to do sometimes is lock yourself in a room, turn on some good music, and you'll feel much better. I know
Yeah,
that
for
may
me,
sound cliche and cheesy, but it's true.
no, not at all. For me, I can't do a room. I get in my truck and I drive.
That's even better.
I get in my truck, turn on the radio station, and sometimes I use my playlist, sometimes I don't, because to me, being a DJ, I have to stay, and I'm sure you can relate, I
Mm-hmm.
have to stay with what's current.
Oh,
As much as I like the old stuff, because I'm very much country, and I like the older country, the outlaw country, Merle Haggard, Conway Twitty. I love that, and not just country, that era of music in general. Um, and I'd listen to it all day long if I could. But then I'm not going to know what's current, so I have to make myself sometimes be like, all right, turn your playlist off, turn the radio on. So,
but those late night drives,
oh yes,
do you like taking those and listen to music?
oh yes, for sure. Because like,
Mm-hmm.
especially with me, about 2 years ago, I went through a divorce, and I was able
Oh,
to. My daughter, I have sole custody of our little girl. I was able to put her in her car seat. She'd be asleep, and I could drive. She'd be sleeping, so she was getting the sleep she needed, and I could just play my music and clear my head, because I love them late night drives because
mm-hmm.
no, you don't have people on the road in the way, and it just and it's a little harder being a single parent, but yeah. So
Yeah.
when did you notice the impact music had on you?
Whew. Oh, it started, had to bring up childhood again. When I first heard Diana Ross when I was like a little girl, I said, what is this? And I just became obsessed with music, particularly vinyls. I and even at this big age I am now, I'm still collecting vinyls. And when I heard her and stop, in the name of love and things like that, it made me fall in love with the celebrity lifestyle as well. Um, I hope that makes sense. Like, it wasn't just I wasn't just interested in the music with Diana. I was like, I wanted to know more about, Diana Ross. So I grew up and I became like a big fan of her and still a fan of the diva till this day. And it's not just Diana Ross, it's Teddy Pendergrass, it's the OJs, it's Aaliyah, with rap, it's DMX, it's Jay-Z, it's Tupac. So music made me get more into hip hop commentary, which is a thing that I do now on Twitter. And I do a lot of, hip hop commentary probably almost every day or at least once a week. So it played a big role in what I wanted to do in life, as far as like being a podcaster, and doing podcasts on music and entertainment. It made me get up in that arena.
Yeah, see, I can relate. And honestly, I never wanted to be a podcaster. I didn't. That was never in my mind at all. But
What? So I'm
since having
sorry.
my since having my DJ business, I've had it. November will be 5 years.
Okay.
Um, I've got to see the impact that music has. Like when I do a lot of festivals and I run sound for a lot of festivals, so I get to see a lot of people come in and they come in with like they got 1,000-pound weight on their shoulders. So when you play certain songs, like I'll go to in this area, they're not new songs, but it's the Cha-Cha Slide and the Cupid Shuffle. So when you see them songs play, you got two type of people. You got the people that are smiling and laughing because they're dancing, or you got the people smiling at the people that are dancing because they're able to laugh. So I realized the impact. I always knew music had an impact, but then I realized as a DJ, the joy it brought me to be able to bring that to life.
Yes.
And then I did, actually, I've only had my podcast since June of this year.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yes. I actually did a big festival out at a campground in Summerfield called Captain Jack's. And I met a guy by the name of Bubba Starts. He's the podcaster of the year from the Scene Projects. And it was one of them people you just felt like lifelong friends when you met. And we sat down and we were talking, and I told him about my ideal that I've been playing around with the last couple of years. And he says, you should do it. Well, then about 4 or 5 days later, he's from South Dakota. So he got home and he called me and he says, I want to help you make your vision a reality. So then June 11th was my very first episode. I interviewed him. And just to see, the impact, like I'm able to use the connections that I've made through whether it's people I know or Podmatch or however the people had come to light, and able to help people along their journey. And that's all about what this is helping people progress in their journey.
But also, another thing how I feel like how music has saved us. I used to be a CNA, and I'm a former CNA, and I use music a lot to connect with my residents. In my opinion, I think music, the nostalgia of music, old school music particularly, is like a good memory aid. You can use it as a tool to access, their memories. And it brought me so much joy to, be able to have the dementia and Alzheimer patients be able to go back to a place in time. And, and then they got to thinking, they go back to their old selves, and they're talking about memories and things they experienced in the, 70s, 80s, and things of the 60s and things of that nature. So music is very powerful, and, I'm heavy on the soul impact. So you're definitely right on the money, with your podcast.
Oh yeah, and that's so funny that you brought the CNA up, because I also used to be a CNA.
Oh wow!
And, so it's funny that
what shift did you work?
I worked all over. My main shift was overnights. I loved overnights because I got to meet the residents that couldn't sleep, like you said, the dementia patients or residents that are up roaming at night. So I got to be able to connect with them, and then I filled in for daytime. And daytime I was not fond of. I have a lot of respect for the people that did it. Evenings aren't so bad. Things are kind of mellowed out a little bit, but morning it seems like all the crazies come out.
They do. But no, I'm right with you on that. Team night shift. 7P to 7A for sure.
Ours was, we did 3 shifts, and they were 11 to 7 was my shift I preferred to work. I love the 11 to 7, and everybody thinks it was because there wasn't much work to be done. No, it was because there was a few residents that would roam the hall. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the reason I got out of it was I wear my heart on my sleeve with everything I do. It was getting to a point where it was too hard watching a resident that you got close with pass away. So I was like, my mental health could not handle it anymore. So I had to.
Yeah, I'm happy you brought that up, because I had a resident pass, and, he had dementia, and, one person, he never forgot was James Brown. So I will always, go to YouTube. I'll pull up James Brown videos, and, even got him a James Brown, vinyl. It brought him so much joy. And it's just, I'm with him one night, then I come back the next night, he's gone. That really bothered me. So I'm happy you brought that up. That's one of the reasons why I'm a former CNA, because that just really got to me.
Oh yeah, and it's hard. I have a lot of respect for the people that do it. I couldn't get to a point where I couldn't do it. That's right there when I was a volunteer firefighter for 10 years. So that was another one that played havoc on me. Hey, give me just a minute. I've got to go check on something real quick. I will be right back.
Oh, you're fine.
It was quiet in the other room, so I had to go check the other room. I don't know if you have kids, but sometimes when they're quiet, you got to worry about it.
Oh yes, but no, I don't have kids yet. I'm planning to become a mom in my 40s, so we'll see if I stick with that.
You're brave. I'm in my 30s, and I have a 3-year-old, and I think she's going to be the reason I go gray.
Yeah.
But, so how did you get? We talked about me. Let's talk about you some more. How did you get involved in the podcast world?
Okay, so it started with Twitter. I was listening to a podcast and they upset me so bad about Taylor Swift because I'm a Swiftie. And so I made a podcast and did like my own episode to talk about Taylor Swift. And ever since then, I've been here. Like, they made me so mad. And, and it's not her fault that she's, talented. Like, now, she just broke Adele's record with Life of a Showgirl, her best album, by the way. I would like to say the Fate of Ophelia is a great example of how music saved us. Just that's actually like a love song about, how a man saved her from, facing the same fates, as Ophelia. And if you know about Ophelia and Hamlet, it was not a good outcome for Ophelia. So just Taylor Swift writing and her artistic style has saved me a lot. I could do a whole segment on Taylor Swift. But
listen, that's funny that you brought that up because I'm a diehard Chiefs fan.
Oh, so you like Travis?
I was way before Travis, but yeah, Travis has a tremendous amount, and he used to make me not so much so mad, but he used to make me laugh at the people like, oh my God, they're showing Taylor again, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you can't really get mad at the girl when she's not like saying, hey, media, here I am, show me on the TV,
Yeah, but that's not his fault. And what I like about Travis, because I listen to his podcast, New Heights, he really loves Taylor. He it's a sports podcast, and he was up there, reviewing her album and stuff. So I don't see an issue with the media showing Taylor, on the screen. Like, that's her husband. Well, fiance, soon to be husband now. So it just makes sense, and they're a cute couple,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And plus, I think every football player wants, their woman at the game supporting them. I just had to add that in there because that's a big thing.
I think that brings it all together: music, football. Because as a whole, you want, whether you're an artist, you're a DJ, there's nothing more that brings me more joy than when I put on a big event and I see my family, my support system in the crowd. There's nothing that brings you more joy. And everybody's like, oh, why is she there? Why is she there? honestly, don't shoot me for this, but I've never been a big Taylor Swift fan.
Oh no. Oh, you have to get into her writing. If you get into her lyrics and writing, you'll be like, okay, I can see how her music has saved a lot of women. Like that pen is very talented.
Oh
That's her
yes, for sure.
talent.
Well, I've got to wrap this up. I appreciate you for being on here. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and kind of what's next for you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Roman4Door. I'm always on there. Not to say I'm chronically online, but a lot of news be breaking. I have to do commentary on it. And what's next for me is getting more into the crypto world. I have become a crypto fanatic. And one thing before you wrap it up, because I know you have to go, I do want to say that using music is for manifestation is another great thing that you can do. You know, music plays a big role on our emotions and, you know, in our true desires. And, you know, mixing that with manifestation, law of attraction, will allow you to manifest your things. So, you know, it's not just about listening to music to have a good time. You can also use it to bring things that you truly desire in your life, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank you again. It's been some really good conversations.
Yeah.
Um, um,
I
yep.
had no idea how I will relate to you this much on this episode, but I
Oh, yeah.
feel like I know you. Like we've walked
Yeah.
different paths in life, but similar experiences.
Maybe we can do another episode where we go a little longer and go a little deeper.
Yes, can I talk to you about Taylor?
You can talk to me about whatever you want. But I want to thank you again for coming on. And guys, remember, go support her, go show her love. And remember, you out there struggling, you're not alone. Love one another and just keep encouraging each other. Guys, until next time, I love you all.
All right, see you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.